very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Tuesday edition of the show. Promises to be exciting as always. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Tonight on the show, there's a lot lined up for you. We'll be talking chess. We'll also take a look at what is happening with basketball on the domestic scene. Of course, we'll talk about the international weekend, no more action. With regards to football, no more action club sides, but the national teams are in action. We'll talk about them as we move on the show. We will also do a post-mortem of what happened with our clubs, football clubs, on the continent, talking about CAF club competitions over the weekend. Started with 4, we're now with 3. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about how the war, of course, the conflict in Ukraine, Russia and Ukraine, how it's affecting sports. We'll also talk about that on the show tonight. As usual, I'm not alone. Of course, I do this with my colleague, Austin Okon-Akpan. We're ready to, of course, do it again tonight as we take you through. I don't want to spinning world of sports. Good to see you, Austin. Nice to do this again with you.
What a greetings to you, Yemi, and of course, our viewers joining us from different parts of the world. Always a delight to be on the show. Action-packed world of sports, Yemi. I was listening to you breaking down everything, and I know we're going to have so much fun on the show tonight. It's good to see chess on the menu. Club football on break, so we won't talk international football. The Super Eagles getting ready. These days, most people don't want to talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. You know why. But hey, the show must go on. We'll talk about them and find out what they're doing. Let's also put it on record that today marks the end of the Amaju Pinnick Nigeria Football Federation Executive Committee. And so football administration and management will continue to get our attention in Nigeria until we get a new president for the Nigerian Football Federation. So these are interesting times, Yemi. So much to talk about. I'm sure you're ready to get into it. I'm ready. And if you're ready, I think we should play some chess.
Yeah, I think we should. And you know, I've made my move, so it's your time. It's your turn to make your own move. I mean, something that has been long overdue. And now it has happened. It brings smiles and joy to our faces. Honor well deserved for a man that won an event 24 years ago, now getting the medal after 24 years. Let's start the show like that tonight, Austin.
Let's get into it. Since you made the first move, I will throw my queen on you, Yemi, so you just to confuse me a bit. I know you play chess better than I do, but I want to put the queen on you. That's him right there, Nigerian International Master Odion Aikoje. He has finally received the gold medal and at the end on board to the Elista Olympiad in 1998. Good things comes to those who wait, Yemi. And you can see excited. Aikoje claims the individual gold at the event ahead of international masters like Simba the Putian of Armenia. If you follow chess, you will know that he really went out there, he saw and he conquered. He waited this long, but finally that gold medal is on his neck. And I heard him saying something about if you're counting people who have brought gold medals to Nigeria, talk about the Olympics. He said you mentioned Chioma Ajewa, you mentioned the Dream Team in 1996, and then you mentioned international chess master Odion Aikoje. Yeah, let's listen to him on the show, and I'm sure when he comes back, we'll have so much to talk about.
That's gold. That's gold. So I've always said that Nigeria has 3 Olympic gold medalists. We have Chioma Ajewa, we have the Dream Team, and we also have International Master of Chess Odion Aikoje. And now it's in my hands. This can go into the record books together with our other achievements. It was a long drawn-out saga. What happened in reality was that due to the schedule, the flights which we had to take in order to be able to get to the venue of the World Chess Olympiad, the return flight was booked for the day the event would complete. Of course, I don't think it was anticipated that any one of us would be able to win, and as such, we might not have a reason to stay for the full closing ceremony, which was going to take place in the night. So our return flight was scheduled for the daytime after the last rounds would have finished. I can understand that. We were going to play against the best in the world. Over 200 countries participated. International grandmasters from Russia, from America, from England, and you had this Nigerian who went there and did this. So we had to leave. What then happened was the executive director of FIDE then in Nigeria, Barrister Emmanuel Umuku, received the medal on my behalf and sent it to Nigeria with a note for the ministry to present it to me and make sure it was properly recognized. But unfortunately, one thing led to the other, a series of events. I think there was change in administration, and unfortunately, the presentation never occurred. Over the years, there had been attempts, notably even led by foreign organizations. A reputable chess outlet in the United States of America even went as far as organizing a plaque, an award to present to me in 2008 in Dresden, Germany. But that time I was out of the country. I was studying in England, so I couldn't make it to Dresden for the Olympiad to receive that plaque. I just kept my focus. To be very fair, immediately after winning the medal in 1998, I withdrew a bit because of the challenges of not being able to receive it. But at the end of the day, I realized that, well, it was one setback, but it didn't need to define my chess career. After all, the record was there in the books by the International Federation that I had won the medal. I just hadn't received it, that was all. So in 2003, at the All Africa Games in Abuja, I was called to represent Nigeria. Initially, I said, hey, look, you know, I haven't received my medal from 1998. Why should I represent Nigeria again? But at the end of the day, I decided that, well, you know, it wouldn't be right for me to say I put myself in front of Nigeria. So in 2003, I participated and won a gold medal at the All Africa Games.
International Master Odion Aikoje. Super excited to have received that gold medal. It was our FIDE president, Mr. Akadi Vovakovic, that, you know, actually gave him that medal. And yeah, I love the story. They went to the competition. They were like, we're playing against the best, who might not win. And boom, he got the gold.
Yeah, you know, those are kind of stuff that make sports interesting. Underdogs, no disrespect to say, because even he referenced the point that, I mean, when people booking the tickets and all that, never thought they were going to be there till the final day, and you know. But it just so happens that it turned out that he won. Also, still talking chess. Let's quickly bring in Segun Vincent. We'll still have a thing or two to say about chess on the show. Let's just do that quickly. Segun, greetings to you. Thanks for finding that time to be with us on the show tonight.
Yeah, good evening. It's good to be back here. The last time I was with Cecilia, so having to come back with you, we always have this chemistry. So yeah, we have this chemistry.
All right, but let me get your thoughts quickly. Chess starting the show tonight. Again, of course, it brings back the point that if we put our hearts and minds into all of these things, Nigerians can be winners in everything.
Yeah, we have a lot of talent in this country, you know, ranging from all sports. You know, the last time I was here, we were talking about the netball that they brought into Nigeria. We have, and like he said, we give it, just teach a Nigerian any sport, and in 3 months we'll be
come back in 3 months.
Come back in 3 months, and we'll be masters there. But you know, the topology and the environment doesn't allow for that development of talent. You know, over 20 years, he won a gold medal because of issues of logistics and all of that, and issues. You know, everybody's been about the bush and all of that. Is making him to just receive the medal just now. So it won't happen in other countries. It won't happen in the Republic of Togo. So it's when you hear things like this, it doesn't motivate you. What motivates you is your environment, the people you're around with, you know, and the forward thinking and the forward going of any country, of an association or any sport. And yes, all these things that is going on, we still have people that are making Nigeria proud. So this is people deserve, I beg your pardon, deserve a kind of applause. They deserve every momentum of our praise, you know, as the case may be. So a wonderful one, no doubt, for at least somehow, at least he's still alive to get this medal, because what if his enemy were dead? We won't be discussing this right now. So a wonderful one, no doubt, as regards that, because we know what happened, the likes of Stephen Keshi, that before he passed on, before they started doing all those things for him. So at least he's alive. He's gotten his medal now. At least that's a good one for him, no doubt. At least an opportunity for him to be able to say, okay, this is something I won while I was while I played the sport of chess.
In my active days.
So basically, that's what it is for him right now.
All right. Okay, let's move on. Still talking chess. Let's listen. Still on that matter, receiving the gold medal 24 years after winning it. Let's listen to the FIDE vice president. That's the governing body of chess. The vice president, Lekan Adeyemi, reacting to Odiola Koje getting that medal 24 years after winning it. We'll listen to him. Then we'll come back for more on Sports Tonight.
That event is very remarkable. I remember very well, I was part of the technical crew that led the team to the 1998 World Chess Olympiad in Elista, Kalmykia Republic of Russia in Moscow. Odio won his gold medal on board 2, but because of flight arrangements, we couldn't wait for the presentation of the medal, so we came home. And the story is long, like he said on stage that time. We came home and the medal was sent. But unfortunately, for one reason or the other, the medal didn't get to him. I started the move. I was able to raise the funds that took the team to the Olympiad that year. And I thank God that God has used me again to bring this execution to reality, because I was instrumental to getting the medal now to present to him. We had to go to the archives in Elista in Moscow to find the original medal, and we had to make another replica to present to him today. So it's a very significant event to me, and I'm happy because supposedly we have sealed the deal. This is the end of the story of the World Chess Olympiad that we went to in Kalmykia, Republic of Russia, Elista in 1998. It's just ending now in 2022.
All right. So something that happened 24 years ago, back there in Russia, history making event, and of course, we've seen the end of the story. The end of the story, reward for effort, reward for hard work, reward for success, a gold medal 24 years after. And so it takes us to another story that has generated a lot of positive reviews, a lot of happiness for Nigerian sports, and of course, the subject of the next story has even received an award courtesy of that performance at the Commonwealth Games. Let me go to Austin now. I want to allow Austin lead the way talking about this. You had an interview with her, talking about Tobi Amusan. I mean, I've spilled the beans already. You had an interview with her after the race, when she won it. We were the first in Media House she spoke to. And now to hear that, look, everything that she achieved at that event has been ratified, especially after some naysayers were having one or two opinions, and now it's been etched in the record books.
No, Yemi, what a story. What a year for Tobi Amusan. Arguably, I think she's the most achieved athlete in 2022. Broke the African record, gave us a world record, gave us a Commonwealth Games record. She was flying, Yemi. She was unstoppable. And today, the World Body for Athletics, they've ratified the 12.12 seconds that she ran at the World Championships in Oregon. It's now official. It's a world record. She ran that world record in the semifinals. She had Harrison in that race. She had Camacho Queen. This young Nigerian from Ijebu, they didn't look at anybody. She went ahead and she smashed the world record. Yemi, it didn't stop there. She went to the final. And you know, with the final, now that you've broken the world record, 12.12, the entire world now looking on her. You know what she did? She ran 12.06, but the wind aided the result, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to stand. But Tobi Amusan flying so high. I remember when I spoke to her in Birmingham, she said, look, impossible is nothing. She'll keep giving her best. Shagun Vincent, I don't know. I'm struggling to find the right adjectives to describe Tobi's 2022. Can you help me?
She was like Superman. Superman.
I know.
And Shagun, let me just throw this in. It's a moment that we'll be proud to tell our kids that there was a time, there was a Nigerian among our peers. When people doubted her, she did it not just once, twice. And like Austin alluded to, she already did it at the semi-final. It wasn't the medal-winning event. And you know, whatever she did in the final ought to be better than what she did in semis. And what she did in the final was actually better. But of course, they come with this wind assisted, whatever they said it was. But the fact that now it's been ratified, nobody can give us that. What Michael, I don't understand what Michael Johnson was saying about the clocks, maybe malfunction. I didn't know where he got that from anyway.
I think what he was talking about was different from what the body was talking about. You know, in sports like athletics, long jump, triple jump, and high jump have the wind assistance in some cases in those sports. He was talking about the clock. That was a different case entirely. Now, if you look at the history of the athletics, for example, now there are whereby the wind, quote unquote, assisted. But now when it's beyond a certain meter, for example now in the hurdles, the range is between, it shouldn't be more than 2 meters. So in our own case, it was 2.5 meters. But in previous cases, the races that were called short were the ones that were above 4 meters and above. And our own case, it was still be within range. And you know, when you win titles, when you win medals, when you win trophies, when you're on the world stage, there's always this cacophony or there's issues of the guys, you winning and all of that. So there's people always want to look into it. So it could be drug test, it could be wind issue. And here right now, they have done all the necessary things they could do. They've done all the research they could do, and they cannot remove this record that she has. She can just a quick one. Work hard for it.
Before I got to Austin, who's very ecstatic, by the way, because he was able to see those things happen. Why I brought up that is because it nullifies. If there's anybody that still has that in their mind, maybe the clocks were faulty or whatever.
It nullifies that.
It just
nullifies that.
It heads it.
It nullifies that, and that's what they call the authentication of that result.
That performance.
So it's like more like you're going somewhere and they put a stamp on it.
Yeah.
So that's
no arguments
that
anymore.
Stamp on it means that it has been like you want to travel abroad. They give your visa is in a stamp. So that stamp means that it has been signed, sealed, and delivered. Yeah. So nobody can come and say that, I contest that result. It's not possible. So at this point, it's like when you go to the court and then the court said you have been discharged and acquitted. So it means that case is no longer open. And in this case, Amusan's case, it has been closed and been sealed and delivered.
All right, that's it. Austin, I mean, what else can we say? We have a lot to talk about. We're going to basketball next. Whatever you want to tell us, I'm done with that. I mean, it heads all of that argument, and you know, record books, everything satisfied.
Commonwealth Games record. Just before we started rolling the camera, I said, Tobi, 12.12. Are you going to break that world record at the Olympics? And she said, calm down. This is 2022. The Olympics is in 2024. Each time I look at that 12.12, I'm still saying the only person that can break Tobi's record is Tobi, because she is on fire. And I think the only thing she's owing herself, not Nigeria, because if you take a look at what she's done remarkably well. She has met the president. She's been given a national honor. She holds the world record. She holds the African record. She holds the Commonwealth Games record. I'm just going to stretch my leg and go to sleep. I'm like, what is there to prove again? But there is the Olympics. And I think that's what Tobi owes herself. Win an Olympic gold medal. I'll get on the podium. But I told her, get to the Olympics and break your own record.
That would be very good. That would be very good. That would be the only thing missing. She ticks all the boxes. And that sport is the only one. And we can only wish her all the best. And the authorities in Nigeria should also do whatever needs to be done to propel her to get something done. All right, let's shift to basketball. I'll yield the floor to you. Let's talk about some schools in Bayelsa. I mean, getting the chance to represent the country, and hopefully we'll be able to do us proud.
Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, each time we talk about Bayelsa State lately, we always have development at the core. There's something Bayelsa State is doing that other states should emulate. The dual Bayelsa schools are Bishop Zimiari Grammar School and St. Jude's Girls Secondary School, Amarata. They will represent Nigeria for the first time at the International World 2022 Basketball Championship that will take place in Belgrade, Serbia. For instance, I know St. Jude's Girls Secondary School Amarat. I've been covering that school, I think, since 2014. They've been doing so well with basketball, and it's good to see that now they are going to an international basketball championship. The Nigerian contingent are led by the First Lady of Bayelsa State, Dr. Mrs. Gloria Ebimobog Diri, will lead the team alongside the president, that's right there, of the Nigeria School Sports Federation, NSSF, Mrs. Olabisi Joseph. Nigeria, alongside 19 other nations, including Brazil, Bulgaria, Chile, France, Greece, Hungary, India, Ireland, Nepal, North Macedonia, Serbia, Slovenia, Chinese Taipei, and Turkey will compete in the boys and girls event that is organized by the International School Sports Federation and hosted by the Serbian School Sports Federation. I love this one so much because it's all about development, and it's good to see young persons in secondary school already getting out of the country to go represent the country. And for me, I always say, no pressure, let them go out there, let them learn. This is very, very good for development. Let's take some talking points, and we'll come back. Shegun will tell us some one or two things that we can take from this competition.
Very big thank you to Bayelsa State government for making this dream come true. Like I said, Nigeria will be participating in the World School Basketball Championship for the first time. And if not for the amiable governor of Bayelsa State and the intervention of the Honorable Commissioner for Education, we wouldn't have been able to give these wonderful children the opportunity to represent Nigeria. I've seen them play, I've watched their training, and I have confidence that they will do Nigeria proud. The stage is set, and I believe that they are ready and well prepared, because the Nigerian School Sport Federation had provided the platform for you to have that exposure, for you to be able to meet your counterparts. It goes beyond just participating in basketball. There are also other educational programs, the interaction, the learnings, the cultural exchange that you will benefit from participating at the World School Basketball Championship. We believe that now, as ambassadors of Nigeria, you will keep our flag flying. I can't wait for them to sing our national anthem, lifting the trophy. I believe in you. I do want to use this opportunity to call on other state governments. This is what we want. We want this private-public partnership.
Welcome back, Sports Tonight on Channels Television. You listen to the president of the Nigeria School Sports Federation, Mrs. Olabisi Joseph. It's the first time Nigeria will be competing at the World School Sports Basketball Championship. It's taking place in Serbia, and two schools from Bayelsa will be representing Nigeria. Let's listen to the captains. They are pumped up. They want to go represent the country.
All right, I guess we'll get a chance to get that insert later. At this point, we need to move on. But it's also good. I listened to your remarks, what you said about basketball, that getting the support from the IX level, and I hope it propels them to succeed. All right, as you can see, Austin, we're ready to go. There's a lot to talk about. We're on our feet now because it's time to talk football. And when it gets to that point, of course, we have to be active and we have to get ready to talk about a lot of interesting things. You said earlier that a lot of people don't just want to hear anything about the Super Eagles, but we don't have a choice. We have a job to do here. And Shegun, the Super Eagles, some people will say we are now training materials for the teams that will go to the World Cup. Well, I don't think so. Even if you don't qualify, you still have to prepare one way or the other. And so that's the news now. Players in camp, just a few players still being expected. Before we take a look at the list and the details of that friendly, but let me just quickly get your thoughts, Shegun. What should we expect from the friendlies that we are going to play? A lot of friendlies lined up, international, break in September, the one in November. Kudos to the NFF for securing friendlies for the Super Eagles.
A good one that for arranging the friendlies for the Super Eagles. But normally, personally, I really don't take too much into friendlies because friendlies are just games where people just arrange, no pressure, get the rhythm, get the chemistry, understand how you want to play, understand the opponents and all of that. Although, on the national stage, the better the opponents, the more your coefficient, when you beat them, the more
on the rankings.
On the ranking. But a good one that, at least against Algeria, we haven't beaten them in the past 3 fixtures. We lost 3-0, we lost 2-1, and we lost 1-0. So we need the pressures on our side to win this game. But on the new side, because a couple of new players are coming in, Amusan is injured, so I doubt if he won't be in the team. A couple of players coming in and going out. Koriku is injured, so this guy and then
we have the details of all of that.
But in all, at least we want to see how the coach will play. We want to see new system, new style. We want to see how the players too would adapt to his new tactics and his new how he will administer how they will administer the team. I keep our fingers crossed, and like every other Nigerian fan, we are not really supposedly too eager to watch the friendly, but we hope that Nigeria gets the results done against Algeria.
Austin, before we begin to roll in some of the match details, the information about the players in camp, I'm tempted to ask you, I mean, is there any reason we should be less enthusiastic about the Super Eagles? Is our team, they didn't qualify for the World Cup, but we love this team. I don't see any reason why we should be less enthusiastic, because I could see the apathy. When you mentioned the Super Eagles, a lot of people telling me, oh, we're not going to have the Premier League for almost 2 weeks. I'm like, well, yeah, the Super Eagles is going to play. Some just looked at me and said, oh, and so what, But I don't think there should be any reason why we should be less enthusiastic about the Super Eagles.
I totally agree, but I also understand the pains, of the fans, their expectations, The World Cup is massive. It's arguably the world's biggest, most followed, competition. And not to see their darling Super Eagles there, it hurts. But, deep inside them, they know they still love the Super Eagles. I mean, because it's football, and it's the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So they will follow, they'll act like they are not interested. But let the result not be good, then you will start hearing those comments. And if the result is so good, they will, give praise to whoever praise is due. But I think this is serious work for the Super Eagles themselves, for Jose Pizarro and his team, and even the NFF. What are you using this window for? You're not going to be at the World Cup. If we keep saying we're building, this is the time to start assessing the level of that building.
All right.
Let it be state by state. Let it be purpose-driven. Let it be something that right after every match, Algeria is a good opponent for you to take a look at your team and see, ways you can get better. They have Portugal also lined up. So I think we should follow it. We should wish them well and hope for the better.
All right, hope for the better. All right, let's bring the match details. Let's do that very quickly. I'm very sure our viewers will see it right on the screen. The match details, there you go. International friendly, Algeria against Nigeria, September 27. That's next week, midweek. Tuesday next week, September 27. Venue is Oran in Algeria. Okay, let's show you the players that are already in camp. That's our next spot of call. Shegun mentioned something that is very interesting. We'll do that later. That's the head-to-head. We've not beaten them in a while, but we'll do that later. But first, let's look at the players in camp. Let me run through the list quickly. You have Maduka Okoye. He's not been around for a while, injury and all, but he makes a return. William Trust Ekong, Kenneth Omero, Chidozie Awaziem, Olaoluwa Aino, Calvin Bassey, Seydou Sanusi, Kevin Akungura, Valentin Ozunwa came in as a replacement. Wilfred Ndidi, not been around for a while as well. Richard Onyenka, Alex Iwobi, Frank Onyedika, Moses Simon, Taiwo Awoni, Chidera, Ejuke, Cyril Desas, Tereb, Murphy. These are the players in camp for the Super Eagles as we prepare to face the Desert Foxes of Algeria. Still, let's take a look at the ones still being expected. These are the ones that are already in camp. All right, so let's take a look at the ones that are still being expected in camp. All right. I talked about this earlier. Valentin Ozonwamfo, Godwin Saviour, Ebube Duru. These 3 players called in as replacements for the injured players. Okay, so let's see the list of the injured players then. So captain, you talked about this as well. Shegu Ahmed Musa is not going to play. He's injured. Samuel Chukwueze, Leon Balogun, Ariel Yekuru, Emmanuel Dennis. These guys will not play, and that is why replacements have been called in. Valentine Osoro, Godwin Savior, and Ebube Duru. All right, still being expected. The list is going to come up on your screen. Francis Uzor, Adeleye Adebayo, shares my surname, Ebube Duru, Godwin Savior, Kelechi Iheanacho, and Ademola Lukman. These are the players that are still being expected. All right, we have a lot of information lined up for you. Also, let's take a look at the head-to-head. We've met quite a number of times. Growing up, I dreaded the North African teams because of the stories I was told, especially by my dad. An incident where we didn't get to qualify for the 1982 World Cup, the story about somebody who headed it to the net. You know, so that's it. So we're still going to bring that to you head-to-head. And some encounters we've had with Algeria, some still hot, some still painful. Case in point, 2019 Nations Cup, Riyad Mahrez and that goal, still very, very painful. But, you know, a strong side. They've won the Nations Cup recently, so they're a side that we should show a lot of respect. Let me go to you, Shegu, quickly. If you look at Algeria in times past, and even though they had a misadventure at the Nations Cup, but in between winning the previous Nations Cup and coming to the tournament where they didn't do well, they look like a strong side. Yes. And let's not also forget they won the Arab World Cup. So whatever happened to them at the Nations Cup, I still don't understand. But still a formidable side.
Yeah, a formidable side, no doubt. They have been our boogie team. You know, when we play Algeria, we can't beat us and say, we'll definitely beat them. And you know that when they play European standard football, knock the ball on the ground, you know, like a tiki-taka kind of football, fast pace, flair, short passes. You know, they have this way of playing an expansive kind of football. And anytime they play us, they seem to have some level of some extra muscle on them. And that in the past 3 fixtures, we haven't defeated them. They've been beating us over and over again since 2017, you know, 2019, yes. And the previous fixture, I think, 2020. So, and we haven't beaten them in over, since 2017, that's over 5-6 years.
You mentioned some things that's already on the screen. Let's go back as far as 2002. Okay. We could have decided to go way back. But let's have from 2002, that Cup of Nations that was played in Mali.
Yes.
Just 1 goal scored. Nigeria beats, I think the goal was scored by Julius Agawa. I remember that one, Julius Agawa scoring in that Nations Cup. So in 2010 Nations Cup as well, bronze medal match, we defeated them by a lone goal in that game. Then 2019, I mean, the memory of this game still haunts. Yeah, because it looked like we were going to win that tournament, the way we were going. We got that equalizer. Then Riyad Mahrez showed up, that free kick that we didn't defend properly, and they won. So that's the 2019 Nations Cup where they won. So that's that. And I think that's the last game we've played with them. Okay, some of this takes us back 2017, where we were trying to qualify for the World Cup. We beat them 3-0. In 2016, Nigeria, Algeria, we've had their number in recent times, but things changed at the 2019 Nations Cup. And look at this as well. I remember when we failed to qualify for the 2006 World Cup, the last game that was a dead rubber, we beat them 5-2. Wasn't going to count for anything. Nigeria, Algeria as well at the 2004 Nations Cup. They won Tunisia 1. This was it. All right, let me bring Austin back into this thing. Austin, you look at the stats. It looks like it favors us. Either way, but the 2019 memory still haunts.
Yeah, it does, because, you know, we thought we had a team that was good enough to get to the final. and even win that title, you know. But we always forget that it's the same way you want to win that the other team, you know, wants to win. And football just, you know, gave it to Algeria. But if you take a look at the head-to-head that we just shared with our viewers, it's pretty decent. You win some, you lose some, you know, and that's our world of sports for you. But with Algeria, I'm really hoping to see what Jose Pizarro and his team can do. And if you take a look at the core of the team, even with the guys that are already in camp, you can tell that most of the players are available. It's good to see Maduka Okoye back, Wilfred Ndidi back in the team. Kevin Akpoguma, that's one player I really like. I'd like to see him do something with this Super Eagles team. So it's up to Jose Pizarro to start thinking about how to use some of these players. Because, you know, we've always talked about the debate of why bring in players if you're not going to play them.
What's the
There's
point?
Terry Murphy in there also, very decent player. A lot of Super Eagles fans want to see him and see what he can do for the team. There's also Cyril Dessas. When Cyril is missing in the list, everybody starts talking. So he's in there now. Let's see what he can do. Let's start seeing how we can talk about the Super Eagles beyond Victor Osimhen. Because if you hear the talks now, oh, the Super Eagles didn't play well, Osimhen tried. We should start talking about a team. You know what I'm saying? That's what we should start building now. So it's up to the technical crew. I know that if they do so well with these friendlies, the fans will, you know, start talking about the darling Super Eagles again. I was looking forward to those stories they told you about Algeria when you were growing up. I remember back then in Lagos, I heard tales such as when we play Algeria, when they fire at our goal, our goalkeeper, we see a lion.
You know, those memories, I mean, not just Algeria, North African teams, I dreaded them. And I think we started recovering. That 94 squad helped us to demystify some of them. You know, because you remember if Maroc 88, Nigeria, Algeria was really tough. I still had, you know, faint memories of that, and Algiers 90, how they hammered us twice to win.
And Yemi, if I could just, you know, jump, you remember right until when we got that strong team in 94. Remember we were building. I think we were building right from Algiers 90.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
As a matter of fact,
94,
even 89, even from 89.
Even 89 to an extent, you know. Senegal 92, the bulk of the team too, we're still together. So when we did what we did at Tunisia 94, no surprise for me. And remember, people should also know this. We had a viable league system.
Yeah.
Coach Clemens Westerhoff didn't have much problems even looking for players. We didn't even just have a viable league system. Our school system was good.
Yeah.
The likes of, God bless his soul, the late Stephen Keshi was playing football at St. Finbar's when it was discovered. So this is what we're talking about, particularly with this football master plan that they are putting in place. We should go back to those structures that made us what we were back in the day, ranked 5th in the world in 1994. We can still do it. And by the time we started doing most of the things that the North Africans were doing, we started closing that gap. We should get back to it.
Yeah, we should. Hopefully, we'll be able to do that. Guys, time now that our friend on the show. Let's go to club football. Club football that you want things to be done properly, because if you help, that will be the bedrock to build the national team upon. We started with 4, now we have 3. So let's just show our viewers what we have. It's always been my fear. You start with 4, it gradually starts going down. And this is what happened over the weekend. Rivers United of Nigeria were up against... this is the second round. So let's quickly see if we can go back to
The first round.
Okay, let's see this. This is what happened. Rivers United were able to prevail. Now they are up against Wydad of Morocco. Plateau United also were able to get through. This is what most of us feared. It wasn't the first round that we were afraid of. We knew that the teams that will cause the problems are the teams that are going to meet in this round. So let's start with the Champions League. You can see the first leg between October 7 to 9, second leg in between October 14 to 16. You look at this experienced campaigners, and it's hard to be confident and say that our teams will go through.
It's a difficult one. You look at Esperance of Tunisia, they have massive experience. They've always been around the block for a very, very long time. So they know what it is to win. They know how it is to handle. And they're this side that, you know, they're away from home, they just find a way to get the results and then go back to Tunisia and then find a way to beat people, get the crowd hostile, the stadium hostile, play their standard football and then get the results. So Plateau United is going to have a lot of work to do. And the only way and there's only one way for them to qualify, and it's just to win the first leg. If they don't win the first leg,
win it well.
Win it well. And if they don't win the first leg well, they're going to be needing some prayers and fasting to get to the next round.
All right. Let me quickly go to Austin. Let's stay with the Champions League before we go to the CAF Confederations Cup, which is where we had the problem. Austin, forgive me if I'm a bit pessimistic. Does it look somehow? Our two teams are playing. They played the first leg at home. That worries me. I mean, there was nothing you could do about that. It's all about, you know, the draws and everything. But against North Africans, do you think it would have been better if the second leg was at home when you know the scale of, you know, how big the task ahead really is? You know, when maybe if you lose by 2-0, you need to score 3 and all that. But play the first leg, and how problematic do you think it will be for our teams?
It's not. I mean, you see, football has gone beyond that sort of fear. It's all analysis. But now football has dropped to tactics, to strategies, to preparations. Now, wouldn't you have wished that Remo played the first leg at home and probably beat Asfar like 3-1 or 3-0? They probably would advance. But they went away first, gave a gallant display, and then they lost 1-0 at home. Football can be like that, you know. So it's just to take your mind off it, particularly don't show any respect. And you see, Remo crashed out, but they still have the respect of football fans in Africa. They have announced their name in a very special way for not losing a Rabat in front of that hostile crowd, in front of more than 10,000 fans, and as far that has so much continental experience, but they didn't advance. So if you take a look at, if you want to take a look at, oh, they're playing at home, then you're already losing it, because why that? Current champions, CAF Champions League holders, Esperance, they've won it 4 times. So if you look at it, home and away, they're going to beat your teams. But no, it's about preparation. It's about the mindset of the player, the tactical discipline and quality of the technical crew. Rivers United, for instance, is a team that there's just something, it's just a little bit of focus and some refinements that they need, and they can beat any team in Africa. You know, so that's why I was saying that we need to do those things that can make our teams world class, so that when they lose, you will know that they lost because they played football on the pitch. But because most times we already lose before we get on the pitch, that's why we have all of this fear. So, I mean, whether they're playing at home first or they're playing second leg away, it doesn't matter. Just get the job done. Who says you cannot win home and away? You can win home and away. It's allowed. This is a 2-legged fixture. You can win at home, win very well at home, and if you go and lose poorly away, and then you're still out. So it's football. It falls on these players.
Unfortunately, you're where you are. You couldn't see the way I'm looking at you, the way Shegu is looking at you. but the good thing is, this program is recorded, so we'll play it back.
Remember, that was the same thing I told you. No fear against Asfar. When you asked me about Remo and Asfar, I said what I said, that with the way Remo had prepared to go to Rabat, they didn't prepare like they wanted to lose, and they didn't lose. In fact, they conceded and came into the game. So let's keep that confidence. I think Plateau United, Kwara United, and Rivers should go the Remo model. Just play football. Right. Whatever will be, will be.
All right, whatever will be, will be. We'll leave it at that. CAF Confederation Cup. Let's see that quickly. I get Shegu. Unfortunately, we don't have time. I know Shegu would probably love to say 18 or 2. CAF Confederation Cup, we started with 2. Now we have 1. We have one. We have 1 left now, and very just up on your screen. That's Kwara United up against RS Bekane. That same weekend, October 7 to 9, reverse fixture 14 to 16. Again, we're playing first at home. And Austin is telling me not to be superstitious. Okay, I won't be superstitious. But quick one, Shegun, you look at this.
You know, Austin is a man of many words and a man of optimism. So I believe that Austin will probably leave UK and go and play football with them. But then, when you look at Kwara United, they've come this far. You know, it's not a play. Disappointing that it's disappointing. I beg your pardon that Remo Stars had to go bow out. And although they gave everything they had, everything they had, they prepared properly.
They won the hearts of fans.
Administrative wise, everything. You know, they've been well and sung, but disappointing that they crashed out. Playing against this also again this North African side, it seems to be our side that we always have problems both at national level and at the club level. Well, let's see. Like Austin will say, Austin is very, very pessimistic. So let's be pessimistic with him, and I will join him in faith with him. So let's see how it pans out for Kwara United.
Okay. All right. Austin, let's come to you. Because we have something else to touch up on before we go. But quick one, Kwara United. Not really the opposition they met with in the first round. I mean, you could say whatever you like. Some would tell you it wasn't really strong. Now this Moroccan side, it's an ordeal they have to cross. And unlike their counterparts in that Champions League, if you fall, you are falling out. You're not falling anywhere else. So
no.
I mean,
it's tough. It's really, really tough for Kwara United. Don't forget RS they are the current champions of the Confederation Cup, you know. So if I want to go the way of you and Shegun, I'll just say, oh, they are out. But football doesn't work that way. I know it will be difficult to say the 3 Nigerian teams will advance, but with what we've seen from the 3 teams that are still remaining, maybe we might have 2. I can't say the team that will drop. It will be good if we have 2 advance. They have very difficult opponents, but if they prepare properly, don't give respect to these teams, just stay focused, eyes on the prize. That's what Kwara United did when they went to the J. With all of the abolies and all of the incantations that they tried to bamboozle them, they stayed focused and they are here now. They need to keep that focus and then see if they can just, do the unthinkable against RS Berkane.
All right, our party shot on the show before we go. Shegun, let's talk about Robert Lewandowski. He's from Poland, but has shown a lot of support for the cause of Ukraine. Ukraine currently in a conflict with Russia, and he's been on since February. And he's been wearing that, even at Bayern, he's been wearing that special armband. There's a flag of Ukraine. And now when Ukraine goes to the World Cup, Robert Lewandowski is going to wear an armband in the colors of Ukraine, just to call the attention of the world to the plight of Ukraine and what is going on. And of course, the legend himself, Andriy Shevchenko, had to come and meet him, and they talked about it. I mean, it still tells you about the power of sports.
Yeah, the power of sports, you cannot undermine the power of sports, in the area of issue of racism, issue of war. We had, although the bodies are trying to regulate what they can and what they cannot talk about because of the influence that he has, We've seen that over and over again, the wearing the black armband for the Black Lives Matters, and now in the area of the context of Ukraine. I remember, I think towards the end of last season, Zinchenko and this other player in West Ham, as regards them, giving them round of applause. Yarmolenko, thank you very much. A round of applause during the game just to encourage them. And I think when they played the qualifiers, Zinchenko cried. That's to tell you that the world supports or is in fine tune with Ukraine. And then Lewandowski also had to show his support in the area of support for Ukraine. And then a good one of that for football, a good one for Lewandowski, and we'll have more and more people to stand up to say, oh, okay, these guys, let's support these people, and this is wrong, and let's happen. And we hope that they also have this idea towards other social issues that they can use sports, football to raise ideas about.
All right, also we got to go. Your parting shot, before we get thrown out of the studio, we have to go in less than 30 seconds. We also hear Russia will not be playing in the Euro 2024 qualifiers. But what can we say about the country of Poland, Robert Lewandowski, showing their support for Ukraine?
That's right. Lewandowski showing us the way. That was really heartwarming. I keep a champion on the beat that sports has the power to unify the world. Right in front of diplomacy, we can put sports right there. And with the way the world has come together for Ukraine, and to an extent, not just condemning Russia, even saying to them that they can consider sports and then do the right things. Because in our world of sports, we said the game is fair play. So that's really a laudable. Just hope that everyone will get the message and give peace a chance. Thank you so much. That's the show. Always a delight to do this with you guys. Let's keep the conversation going on Twitter, channels_sports. That's it for the team. I'm Austin Okodakwan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, and that's the show today. But before I go, Shegun, I want to thank you for your time on the show today. We'll do this again some other time.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's good to have you, Yemi. And then, like you also said, in everything you do, talk about sports.
All right, that's the show today. Thank you for being a part of it. We'll be back here again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.